profoundly fascinating. You know how we spend so much time online, just scrolling past text, clicking buttons, consuming information at lightning speed? We almost never stop to look at the actual architecture of the digital world right in front of us. Well, today, we're putting on our digital archaeologist hats. Our goal? To unpack a tiny, almost microscopic artifact. It's just a simple string of text from a modern digital storefront. But within these few words, we're going to see exactly how profound ancient faith collides head-on with modern internet commerce. It's literally a masterclass in how we package meaning in the digital age, and I am so excited to break this down with you. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our raw source material in its absolute entirety. Bible verse for peace in the world. Christian wall art with Bible verses. Godly pictures of Jesus. Jesus is God. Skip to content, log in, sign up. That's it. Exactly 31 words. Now, you've probably seen headers or search results exactly like this thousands of times, right? Your brain just filters it out as background noise. But when we look closer, wow, we find this incredibly dense mix of deep spiritual yearning, targeted product descriptions, heavy theological declarations, and then bam, the absolute most mundane web navigation commands you can imagine, all mashed together in one single digital breath. This isn't just a website header, it is a modern cultural artifact. It shows us exactly how the internet forces the sacred and the transactional to live in the exact same space. During our explainer today, we're going to do a microanalysis of this text, pulling these elements apart to see what they tell us about the structure of the modern digital storefront. So let's start by breaking this text down into its component parts. Section 1, the search for peace, a spiritual need. I want to isolate this specific, brief phrase right at the beginning. Bible verse for peace in the world. When you strip away all the other website code, it reads almost exactly like a prayer, doesn't it? The storefront is immediately targeting a profound, universal human yearning. Think about it. Whoever is on the other side of the keyboard typing this, they aren't just looking for some random retail object. They're actively searching for comfort, for global stability, for a sense of spiritual reassurance in what is, let's face it, often a pretty chaotic world. And the digital storefront explicitly recognizes this deeply emotional, purely human starting point. This is the hook. Before a single piece of commerce can happen, the text acknowledges a spiritual deficit, this deep need for peace, and perfectly positions the storefront as the destination where that profound need is going to be met. But how exactly does a digital entity solve a profound spiritual problem? That brings us to Section 2, Art and Godly Pictures, Material Solutions. And this brilliantly illustrates the pivot from the ethereal to the material. Look at the specific, tangible products being offered here. Christian wall art with Bible verses and godly pictures of Jesus. The storefront is essentially proposing a physical, commercial solution to that initial spiritual yearning we were just talking about. You want peace in the world? Well, we can offer you an aesthetic representation of that peace to hang right on your living room wall. It's this fascinating translation of the divine into the domestic. The infinite, comforting concepts of faith are literally being bounded by a picture frame. Notice the specific phrasing too, godly pictures. It's a direct attempt to capture the divine and package it neatly for your physical space. So the storefront isn't actually selling theology, right? It's selling the visual comfort of theology. It's the absolute commodification of faith, beautifully and efficiently summarized in just a handful of searchable keywords. But then, right in the middle of this commercial pitch, the text does something highly unusual. Section 3, the core declaration, a bold statement. So, the crucial point is this abrupt shift in the narrative. Jesus is God. I mean, we've gone from searching for peace to selling decorative wall art to suddenly making a definitive, bold, totally unfiltered religious statement. There's no sales pitch embedded in there. There's no physical product attached to this specific phrase. It is simply an absolute theological stake planted firmly in the ground, embedded directly into the digital storefront's metadata. Why is it there? Well, maybe it's utilized to signal authenticity to the prospective buyer, assuring them that this commercial transaction is taking place within a shared, safe boundary of faith. Or perhaps it's there simply to satisfy a search algorithm, making sure the page ranks highly for a specific theological query. Either way, it completely breaks the standard rules of retail copy. It's this sudden moment of pure doctrine sandwiched right in the middle of a modern shopping experience. And just as quickly as we hit that theological peak, gravity takes over. Section 4, the digital gateway, transactional reality. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark, honestly, almost comical contrast here. On the left side, the divine. We've got peace in the world, and the theological absolute, Jesus is God. Now, on the right side, the transactional. Skip to content. Log in. Sign up. talk about the rapid whiplash of the modern internet. 1 millisecond, you are contemplating the creator of the universe and world peace, and the very next millisecond, you are faced with the absolute mundane reality of navigating a user interface. The eternal spiritual concepts are slammed right up against the instant gratification, purely mechanical operations of web design. The text literally forces the user to drag their eyes from an eternal religious creed down to a button that asks them to authenticate their session. It is a stunning visual representation of how digital spaces flatten all information, treating a profound statement of faith exactly the same as a basic website navigation link. Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual procedure. We conclude with the final 3 phrases: skip to content, log in, sign up. These aren't just mere words, they are a literal functional procedure. They act as the gatekeepers of the whole experience. Think about it. We started this journey with a seeker looking for a Bible verse for peace in the world. We journeyed through physical art and through bold declarations of theology. But what is the ultimate conclusion of this digital journey? It's a transactional toll booth. If you want that peace, if you want that godly art, you must first engage with the rigid machinery of the internet. You have to identify yourself. You have to create a user account. You must surrender your data to sign up. The spiritual journey is ultimately, and perhaps inevitably, bottlenecked by the strict requirements of modern e-commerce. Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway of our microanalysis today. How does packaging eternal faith within the stark transactional language of a digital storefront alter our search for meaning? When our deepest, most profound yearnings for peace are answered with a prompt to log in and sign up, does it fundamentally change the nature of the comfort we find? We've seen today how just a few lines of basic web text can act as a mirror, reflecting the fascinating, sometimes jarring intersection of ancient spirituality and the mechanics of modern digital commerce. It proves that there is truly no space on the internet, no matter how sacred the topic, that is entirely free from the underlying architecture of the transaction. I want you to carry this thought with you the next time you're browsing online. Look past the images, read the literal metadata functioning in the background, and ask yourself what kind of journey the architecture of the web is forcing you to take. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive explainer. Keep questioning, keep analyzing, and I'll see you next time.